Universities certainly want the students that they enroll to succeed. So college admissions readers are looking for indicators of student success, past success, and hopefully indications of future success. So I think a few things that these admission readers focus on certainly are strong academic background combined with a strong GPA. In other words, college preparation courses and good grades in those courses. Readers want to see evidence of leadership experience and ability. So that's very important to document. Readers also want to see community involvement and service activities, as well as evidence of resiliency and initiative. So if a student can demonstrate that they've stepped up and showed the initiative, for example, maybe there was a problem at their school, maybe their band needed some funding and they had an idea and stepped up and ran with it and was able to get some money or something like that. Any time a student can demonstrate that initiative, that's really good. And the same thing with resiliency. If a student has had to overcome some kind of a struggle, then sharing that story on an application is very, very beneficial. And you want to spin it positive. It's not a woe is me story, but it's more of a, these are some struggles I encountered and this is how I come through that and what I learned. And one of the things I want to point out for each of these, is it's so important to show outcomes and impacts. It's not just that I had a leadership position or I did a service project, but it's important to document the outcomes and the impacts. And when I work with students, I try to impress upon them that every activity or project they work on really has every project and activity they work on really has two outcomes. The first outcome, of course, is the outcome of the project or the activity itself. So, for example, if a student is leading a project to collect food, then the outcome is how many pounds of food they collected or how many meals they were able to provide. So that's an obvious outcome or impact. But another very important outcome or impact is the skills development that took place. What did the student learn in terms of leadership or communication or collaborating or working with others? What did they learn there and how have they grown through this experience? So again, the student should be very deliberate about demonstrating the outcome, not only of the activities that they did, but how did that activity help them grow as a leader? And when they can document that, that really helps the student stand out in the application process. Early decision or early action, that refers to the fact that students may apply early for admissions to their top choice schools. And if you're accepted at the early admission, great. If not, that's okay too, their option. So a student can choose to apply for early decision or early action. Early decision is, you can think of that as kind of a binding application. In other words, if a student applies for early decision, that student is saying, if I am accepted, I will enroll. And a student is only allowed to apply for early decision at one institution. They can apply at other institutions, but not not for early decision. So, and if they were to be accepted on an early decision, they'd have to withdraw those other applications if they have others. The other version of that is the early action. And in that case, the student is not committing. So if they apply for early action and get accepted, they wouldn't necessarily have to enroll in that school just because they were accepted. And a student is able to apply for early action at more than one institution. And as far as, you know, what I recommend this, I think it really depends on the student. I don't think this is a one size fits all recommendation or decision. I think it's very important that the student kind of weigh the pros and the cons. And certainly the pro is if you apply for early decision to a school that you're absolutely dead set on attending and you get accepted, that's great. But again, realize that when you apply and you're accepted in an early decision, you're pretty much committed. And what that means is that if you were to say, for example, another university gave you a better scholarship package, if you've already been accepted in the early decision, it's not easy to get out of that. So I strongly encourage families to consider all their options there. And a question that often comes up is, does early decision or early action, early application, does that really help a student's chance of being accepted? Probably not to the degree that many people think it does. I think you can look up some of those data for the schools you're interested in, but it may not be quite the boost in acceptance rate that some families think it is.